Hey guys, check this out. So I'm going to walk you through an article from Forbes about Jeff Walker. You might know who Jeff Walker is. He created the product launch formula. It's a training course that costs about $2,000. It's responsible for literally billions of dollars in sales from the people who've used it. It's one of the most respected and most profitable training courses on the planet. I've gone through it myself. I went through a very early version of it way back. I mean, he's been teaching this stuff since the 90s. So I've been through early versions of his training. I've been through the latest version of the training, and I think it's one of the best. And I'm going to tell you about an article which features, or it's about Jeff Walker, and it calls him the $400 million man. So this is from 2012, so it's a fair while ago now, but even back then, they were calling him the $400 million man. He's gone on to make multiple millions of dollars, and his students do as well. And the reason why they're able to make this money is because his course teaches a sequence, a funnel sequence. I'm going to walk you through that funnel today so you can emulate it, replicate it, and bring that structure into your own business, and it won't cost you a penny. But listen, if you do want a done for you campaign, so you literally click a button and the entire campaign will be built for you, I'm going to tell you how you can get that as well. So let's go to Funnelytics. I'm going to draw out the funnel map for you. Then I'm going to show you behind the scenes how to make sure that this stuff is actually profitable, because it's not as obvious as you might think it is. Because, well, the typical structure that the public sees, people who are buying this stuff, buying products, well, they generally see like one video, two video, three video, then a VSL. And that's how it looks on the surface. I'm going to go beyond that and show you how to actually do this for yourself. So let's go to the computer and I'll walk you through it. What we're going to do is pull in some pages. So let's pull in a generic page. Let's rename that video 1. So we'll go V1. And then we'll duplicate that. We'll call that V2. Duplicate that again and again. Let's save a bit of time with this. So we'll call that, guess what it's going to be called, V3. And then we're going to break rank and we're going to call this VSL. So most product launches look like this on the surface. So day one, they receive this piece of content, and then a day or so later they receive another piece, and then a few days later they receive another piece of content, and then the final piece of content is the VSL. So this is open cart. So on the surface, it looks like all you have to do is create 3 pieces of content and then a VSL if you want to sell stuff on the internet, and this works particularly well for product launches. The fact is, there is a lot going on behind the scenes. So let's separate that a second, because it's separate from these. This, in fact, has its own sequence. So let's map it out a little bit clearer. So let me drag in another page. On the surface, it looks like this. So someone lands on your opt-in page or your squeeze page, and then once they sign in, once they opt in, they're then directed to a thank you page, and then they are sent to, it can be a sales page, so there can be a one-time offer there. And let's grab these, bring them down a little bit. So they opt in to the email list. So 2 things happens here. So let me drag that like that, and it flows like this. So on the surface, most people think this is what a product launch looks like. And it's a very simple, elegant system. And maybe people are fooled by the simplicity of this. So I'm going to walk you behind the scenes of what actually goes on to get people to convert at this stage, at the VSL stage, because that's what it's all about. And I know people don't like selling. I don't like selling either, but I love this stage. I love delivering value through the whole process. And listen, you need something back for delivering that value, because at this stage, at the content stage, you are helping people to progress through a problem. You're helping to take them at this end, V1, you're helping them to identify a problem and giving them a solution. And across all these videos or pieces of content, they don't have to be videos, but across all this content, you are moving them from having that problem to arriving at a solution. And that's the purpose of this phase of things. It's to deliver that value. And I love that phase. But when it comes to selling, I know that a lot of you guys tend to fall down. You get a bit queasy about it, and I completely get that. I used to be the same too. But there is a sequence, a separate sequence involved in the VSL stage that makes selling really pleasant, so people don't mind being sold to. I'll walk you through that in a bit more detail. Oh, and if you can hear any background noise, I don't know if it's coming through on the audio or not, but as you might know, we've got workmen working in the underground car park. They're trying to fix a leak somewhere on the property, so you might be able to hear some of that background noise. If you can, I apologize for that. So this is the sequence. It looks very simple. Let's go ahead and build this. Okay, for this I'm using Kartra. You can use whatever you want, but because Kartra is probably the most powerful and most elegant system on the planet, I'm using that. So if you're using Kartra, you will be able to follow along and do this too. Or if you want to save a bit of time, because to actually put all this together takes about a week if you are experienced. Okay, to put all the emails and everything, all the triggers in place, takes that amount of time to get it up and running. But if you want to save a bit of time and just import a done for you campaign, I'm going to tell you how you can get that in a few minutes. So let's get down into building this system. So we need a starting rule. So we need the whole thing to trigger as soon as someone subscribes to your email list. So we click that, and then we've got a few options here in Kartra. I'm going to choose tag. So as soon as someone opts into a form, which I've got as a trigger, they will be tagged. So I'm just going to tag them as consulting client. And the reason I'm using a tag is because if I send a link to my email list, my existing email list, and I want them to experience this product launch funnel, then I will be able to do that without asking them to opt into a form. But you can choose whichever one you like. So I'm going to click add and then click save. And now that is the starting rule for Kartra. So as soon as they are tagged with that tag, it will begin this sequence. What we want to happen is as soon as they get tagged, we want to send them a welcome email. So this will say right after the previous step, or we can make the email wait a couple of days or hours. We don't want that. We want to deliver whatever we promise them immediately. So we can just go next. I'm going to keep all these as default. I'm going to call this test 1. Next. Send if. I'm going to choose anyone reaching this step. And then next, I want to do a single email We can split test things in your autoresponder if you want to. That's fine. Click next. And then we write in the content of the email. So we say, here is the free thing. Obviously put in better copy. I'm just using this as a demo, so you can get the free thing here. And then HTTPS link to your free thing. Let's hit next. Now we can add a separate automation if we want to. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hit create. So let's go back to the funnel map. So here you can see when they opt in, this is where we're at the moment, this stage. So email. So we're triggering that email. And there it's inactive. I'm going to activate it just so you can see it more clearly. And then in Kartra, we want to link to it like that. Okay, I'll pull it over there so it's a bit neater for you. Now, as good as this is, most autoresponders will allow you to, say, clone this, so you can send this a day later if you want to, or a couple of days later, send the second piece of content. So let's edit that. We're not going to do that. We're not going to send that directly. So delay, we want to say 24 hours. So 1 day, and then click edit. Obviously we change the copy, that kind of thing. I'm not going to bother doing that because this is only a demo. Then activate it, and then we, then we link it to that. Can we link that? There we go. So it flows like that. Now, that's how most autoresponders work. So you'll be able to send the email immediately, wait a day, and send the next one. But we don't want to do that just yet. So what we need to do is, let me just break that connection there. What happens if we send the email and they don't click the link in the email and visit this page? Well, we need a way to re-engage our prospects, don't we? So if we go back here, what we can do is, where is it? Split. So we can now make a new rule. So we can say, we can wait. Let's say wait a day. So we give them a day to check out that email, click on the link and watch the video. If they don't, what we're going to do is we're going to split things. This is how it looks. Your prospect is tagged. They receive a welcome email, and then the system is going to wait a day to see what they do. If they click the link in here and watch the video or consume your content, then they're going to proceed to day 2 and receive the next email in the sequence. But if they don't, then they are sent a reminder email. So this is where you re-engage your prospects, and overall it's going to really boost your bottom line. Does that make sense? Okay, so next we need to make people wait a day again here. So let's pull in a wait thingy, and we want them to wait 1 day at this stage. So I'll explain this in a second. So let's activate that and connect it up to this step. Oops, I've put that in the wrong place. Let me break that connection here. We'll drag it down here. Connect it up that way. So the sequence now waits 1 day after they receive that reminder email. So if they still don't do anything, what we want to happen next is to email day 2 anyway. So they might be waiting until they receive every piece of content and then go through all of them in one sitting, and that's fine. So we want to make sure that they absolutely get what we promised them. So let me drag this to here like that. And now we duplicate this sequence for every piece of content in the launch formula. So there you can see that we've done the first video, and then it will remind people to check the email, click that link. Sorry, not check their email. It will remind people to click the link before progressing on to day 2. So let's duplicate that and connect that there. Okay, so we just replicate this for every single piece of content in the sequence. That makes sense? Okay. So let me show you that. So let's let's drag in another split. So we want to put that on the true. So let's wait a day to see what happens. We want anyone reaching this step. No, not anyone reaching this step. Sorry, so we want to find if they have not clicked the link. So then day 2, any link, add, create. So there you can see that we're just going to replicate what's already happened, but for a second piece of content there. Okay, so that hopefully that makes sense to you. You can see how elegant this system is. And okay, it's going to take you a while to get all this in place, but if you do want to save time, I've got another solution for you, which I'll tell you about in a second. But let's assume that we've got all this done. That's ready to go. What about the VSL stage? What about the open cart phase of the launch? Let's get into that. So let me clear this for you. Okay, so let's start again here, and this is just for the open cart sequence. So here we want to have it's almost like a countdown until the cart shuts. So we want to send this email either a day, or we can wait a few hours until they watched the final piece of content in the launch sequence. So let's say we'll give them a couple of hours. We hit next. Name of broadcast. I'm going to call this open cart. Open cart. We'll just call it test for the moment because it's only a demo. And then choose the recipients. Then next, we're going to do single email again. And then we would want to say something like we're live, something like that. Say hey name, let's paste that in. We say hey name, the product thingy, you're going to write better copy than I am, is available now, but you need to hurry. Put in some urgency in there, and then we put a link into the shopping cart there, and then hit next, and then create. So Kartra is running a little bit slow at the moment. It's usually lightning fast. Kartra really is one of the best solutions I've ever used for building funnels, for running automation sequences. It's just phenomenal. And if you don't have it, I really recommend trying it. I think they've got like a $1 trial, so you can try it out, do all this stuff. You can even make money on it while you're in the trial. So you can try it, make some money that will hopefully cover the investment, and that's exactly what it is. It's just an investment. And then hopefully before the 2 weeks are up, I think it's a 14-day trial, before that time is up, you should be making, you should be able to recoup that investment really easily. I think it's about $99 maybe, the full version. For the dollar trial, you get the full access to the full version as well. That's exactly what I did. I tried it out for 2 weeks, and I thought if I can make money to cover the investment, the $99 investment in the 2 weeks, then I'm going to go for it. And that's exactly what happened. And in fact, since using Kartra, my profits have increased dramatically, all thanks to the analytics. I mean, you could just try it out. You'll be happy you did. So here, the first email we send in this sequence. So this is the VSL stage. So as you can see, we just said cart is open pretty much. We're live. Go get it. Hurry. And then we want to duplicate that. So clone it. And then we send this a day later. Obviously, you want to change the copy, that kind of thing. So we change it to wait 1 day. As you can see, this sequence is going to be simpler because we know that they're engaged with the content now. We know that they're interested. So it's just a case of running a countdown. And then on each of these emails, you would say the cart is closing in 4 days' time. In the next one, it's closing in 3 days. It's closing 2 days. It's closing now, and so on. And then on the last day, you might want to send maybe 2 or 3 extra emails just to say time is running out. And that's the sequence. This is the open cart sequence. Now, of course, like I said, you don't have to get all salesy with this. In your copy, what I would suggest you do is you can add case studies, you can add stories, you can add additional how-to content in each of these emails, and you don't have to link directly to a sales page or a shopping cart page. What you can do is link to content pages that have a buy button on them. So do play around with this. Okay, so that's a pretty good system. You can see that when you use this, it's going to make you money, right? There's no question about it because it's hitting all the right notes to make your prospects buy from you and feel good about buying. That's a really underutilized thing that we can use, is to actually make people feel good about the process. But I know, and you know, that to make this work, it's going to take time. You're going to have to learn how to write the copy. You're going to have to put the right triggers in place. You're going to have to use urgency in the right way. And the whole thing is just time consuming. I mean, a professional who's been doing this for years will spend about a week making this system run. And that's from someone who's got years and years of experience. So if you're doing this for the first time, I can't imagine how long it's going to take you. But if you want a done for you campaign, so you literally paste in a line of code. It's not even code, it's like a website address. You paste that in, or it's a series of numbers. So you paste that in, click a button, and then the entire sequence is done for you. If you want that, I'm going to have a link below. It's made by a chap called Jason West. He is one of the good guys in this industry. He is a really decent chap. I think you will get immense value from him too. So click that link below, import that campaign and get up and running. You'll be up and running literally within a few hours. So you got to work at this, right? We have to work, but when you knuckle down, focus on doing this. I mean, if you want to take someone from not knowing who you are to trusting you enough to hand you their hard-earned money, and you think about how difficult that is on the internet, this is the system that does it. So also, if you haven't used Kartra yet, I've got a link for you to Kartra as well. Try it out, spend $1, try it out for 2 weeks. If you don't make your money back in that 2 weeks, then, cancel it. But I know from hands-on experience, and this is why I use Kartra myself, is because I know how easy it is to make money. I mean, literally within the first couple of days, I'd already recouped my investment. And as you know, I don't have like a massive following or anything. I just have the right following, the right people. And that's all you need too. So click the buttons below, check it out. And if you found this useful, give it a thumbs up below, subscribe to the channel if you're new here so you never miss an update from me. And I will hopefully see you again tomorrow. Take care, guys.